Hello everyone, welcome back to Visit Little Landmarks. Today we're at a place I never knew existed until just a few weeks ago, St Patrick's Chapel in Heysham, Lancashire. This little gem sits on a windswept headland overlooking Morecambe Bay, and it's been here since around the 8th century, which makes it over 1200 years old. Back then, there was no England as we know it today. The country was made up of a patchwork of kingdoms, Northumbria, Mercia, Wessex, East Anglia, all jostling for power. Heysham, here on the northwest coast, would have likely been part of Northumbria, which at that time was one of the more powerful kingdoms in the north of England. It was a time when Christianity was still spreading, still quite new in some areas. Churches and chapels like this were popping up along the coast, often built on or near older, possibly sacred pagan sites. There was a real blending of traditions going on, a bit of old and a bit of new. Faith was shifting, and these buildings became community hubs, not just places to pray, but where people gathered, marked life events, and buried their dead. It's also worth saying that this is still a few decades before the first major Viking raids hit the British coastline. The big Viking raid at Lindisfarne happens in 793, but the tension was probably already starting to be felt. Trading routes were open and Norse ships were beginning to appear on the horizon. So yeah, when you stand here looking out over Morecambe Bay, you're literally standing where people lived through some of the most formative changes in early British history. It's quiet now, but back then this headland could have been really active and a really significant place. This whole site, including those mysterious rock-cut graves, is a Grade 1 listed scheduled monument. It's a perfect place for history lovers, and the views alone are worth the journey. Local legends say St Patrick actually landed here after a shipwreck and built the original chapel, but that's got to be more of a myth than a fact, as he died in the 5th century. Still, it's suggested that St Patrick, after boarding a ship from Ireland to France, was actually shipwrecked off this coast, and he may have walked ashore somewhere near here. The rectangular chapel measures roughly 8 by 3 metres and is built from sandstone rubble. The earliest phase dates back to around 750 AD, and later it was slightly enlarged. On the southern doorway you'll notice these classic Anglo-Saxon long and short jambs, topped by a triple grooved concentric arch. In 1903 they did some consolidation work using stone tiles to prevent further erosion. So you might be wondering, what happened here? Why did people stop using this chapel? Well, I don't think there was a dramatic moment where it was destroyed or anything like that. It just gradually faded out of use with time. Historians think the chapel was probably abandoned somewhere around the 11th or 12th century. That's about the time when St Peter's Church, just down the slope from here, started to take over as the main place of worship in Heysham. It's actually still in use today, and there's even a bit of Anglo-Saxon stonework inside called the hogback stone. Also remember that this headland is really exposed. There's battering winds, salty sea air. It's not the easiest place to maintain a building over centuries. Without a roof, and regular upkeep, nature just slowly took over. And by the time people were really paying attention again, the chapel was already in ruins. It's kind of poetic though. This little ruin standing watch over the bay for more than 1,000 years. A place where generations worshipped, mourned and remembered. And now it's a historical treasure. Now just to the west of the chapel are these amazing rock-cut tombs. 6 in one group and 2 in another. All carved straight into the sandstone. Some are shaped like bodies, others are tiny, too small for adults. Archaeologists think they held high status remains, maybe even saints, or were child burials. Many also have sockets at the head for wooden crosses. These graves might also be familiar if you're a rock fan, or an Ozzy Osbourne fan, as they were also featured on the cover of the Best of Black Sabbath album from 2008. In the 1970s, excavations showed burials from the 10th to 11th centuries laid east to west in 3 zones around the chapel, about 85 to 88 skeletons. Finds include a Viking-era antler comb, hinting at a cultural overlap of Christian Saxon and Norse influences. So that's St. Patrick's Chapel in Heysham, a tiny magical landmark packed with hidden history. If you like this video, consider hitting the like button, subscribing and checking back in from time to time for more hidden UK spots like this one. Please feel free to leave a question or share your own thoughts below. Thank you for watching and see you next time.